Hi, I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but I was going through a whole lot of vegan videos last night, and I was trying to see a lot of sides of the issue, like see what all's out there. And so one thing I put in there is like veganism disproved, or why I quit being a vegan and stuff. And the annoying thing about doing that is, instead of bringing up people that were really doing videos on that, I brought up dozens and dozens of videos of vegans using misleading titles to get people to watch their video that weren't really doing that. So there's all these "why I quit veganism after 13 years. I mean, Durian Ryder, he probably did like half a dozen or so like that, maybe more, and a whole lot of other people too. And then they come on like, haha, I tricked you, and it's like, oh yeah, real original. And another thing is, there were a lot of videos on vegans attacking people that did quit being vegan. And like, they were going off on people like Anne Hathaway and like Natalie Portman, who she didn't even quit veganism. She was a vegan, then she got pregnant and she started being a vegetarian, where she like had some eggs and whatnot. And then when she had her kid, she went back to veganism. People were all freaking out on her. And I don't know, it's like, seems crazy to attack all these people that actually tried something, tried to make an improvement, and then they had so many physical struggles, so they altered it. Like, almost all these people I saw altered their diet in a way where it was still way more sustainable, way less damaging, contributing way less to these industries than all the other people out there, because they had their eyes open and they didn't want to retake part in the stuff they did in the past, but they also cared about their health. And I don't know, there must be different body types or something, because I keep seeing like how there's all these vegans out there saying it's easy and whatnot. And for me personally, it was really, really hard. Like, I got really, really sick and my body was falling apart. And if it wasn't for my friend, I probably would have done the same thing as these people, because I was really getting frustrated. There's this really cool like doctor on the island that like, he's got like this real cool sense of generosity and like a helpful spirit, where he wants to make a difference in the world. So he's someone I trust and someone that I can afford. And I was gonna go get a blood test and figure out what on earth was wrong with me, because it was driving me crazy. And this never happened before I went vegan or vegetarian. Like, it happened when I went vegetarian too, but I only toughed that out about 3 or 4 months or so, and then I gave up and went back to eating a much less harsh omnivore diet. Like, I used to eat a lot more meat than I did before that first vegetarian switch, but that had me a lot more aware. So I did a whole lot more of our local fresh fish and free-range eggs and stuff, because I really didn't want to contribute to that stuff after learning about it. But then I went vegan, and when I read Patrick's book, I thought maybe some of the stuff from the dairy and whatnot that I was eating was causing inflammation or doing things that made the diet not work. So I thought if I went vegan, I wouldn't have the same issues. But it was the same thing, where a couple weeks went by and I felt great, and then all of a sudden I just started getting worse and worse and worse and worse. So just because you didn't personally experience that doesn't mean that there aren't people out there that don't experience that. And we all have strong survival instincts, and if our body's falling apart and we're feeling like crap and nothing works and it hurts just to sleep, people aren't going to keep doing something. That's just the reality of the situation. You can go all off on how they're being selfish and at least they're not getting killed or whatnot, but that's how people are. That's what people do. So it irritates me seeing all this judgment on these people who actually tried to make a difference, but then their body didn't cooperate and they went back. And Unnatural Vegan did a video on this, and at least she brought up the thing that they should get a blood test and find out what was wrong. And when she mentioned how a lot of the people went with how they felt and then they went off vegan and started feeling good again, they didn't do the blood test, but the one person that did do a blood test found out what was missing and took the proper measures to address the issue and remained a vegan. So that's good advice, and maybe that's something you should bring up with these people. But just dissing them and making them seem like evil incarnate isn't the right way to go about it. And the brainwashed comments you see all the time, it reminds me of like religious zealots, where it's just like, veganism is the best in the world, veganism makes everything perfect, you're gonna be super healthy, super energetic, everything's gonna be perfect, these people just want an excuse to eat meat again. It's like so far based from reality. Like, these people knew why they were switching and they didn't want to stop being vegan. Like, they knew they were gonna get a backlash like this, and nobody wants to deal with that, that's for certain. It's just when your health's on the line, you make decisions and then you people freak out on them. So I agree with Unnatural Vegan that knowing why they did what they did, they probably should have taken that extra step and gone and got blood test instead of just going fully off intuition. But some people just, they always trust the signals they get from their body, and they've been doing that their whole life and it's always worked, so they're just being consistent with the way they've always done things. So I just wanted to address that because it was irritating me last night. I just keep seeing it over and over, and it's not the first night I've seen that, but I've seen it enough times that it accumulated, and I finally felt like I had to make a video on this, even though I think I've kind of hit this subject a time or two before. I just wanted to address it one more time. So remember, I think we must have like different types of bodies out there or something, because the ease with which some of you make this change seem like makes me think that you don't all experience the same thing, because it wasn't like this for me, I can tell you that much. If I didn't have my helpful friend who lived a similar lifestyle to me, I would have been pretty panicked. I was pretty panicked. Like I said, I was ready to get a blood test because I did see that Unnatural Vegan video, and I was like, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to do that because things aren't working like this. So I wasn't ready to give up, but I was ready to take extra measures because I had ran out of ideas on my own. So just know that maybe not everyone has the exact same experience as you, and not everybody that stops doing what you're doing is an evil, wicked person or a lazy, weak person. They actually might have good reasons for making the decisions they did.